Israeli jet over years of air attacks, and failed to intercept mass cruise missile strikes on 2 occasions. Admittedly, years of civil war have caused the loss of numerous fixed air defense assets and sapped morale, logistics and training standards. One must also consider that Moscow has actually upgraded and put back into service many of the older Syrian SAMs, and deployed 2 batteries of its most advanced SAM systems to its base in Latakia, the S-300V4 and the S-400, as well as additional Panzer S-1S for close defense. Though the Russian batteries are not supposed to engage Israeli aircraft, and are unlikely to shoot at U.S. aircraft, despite periodic threats to the contrary, the Russian radars have been linked to the Syrian air defense system, thereby enhancing their radar coverage. Nonetheless, Syria's air defenses have had conspicuously little success despite considerable expense invested in them. Why? Though the Israel Air Force has begun operating a few F-35 stealth fighters, it is unlikely they participated in the raid. Instead, radar-visible 4th-generation F-15 and F-16 jets likely use standoff-range weapons, notably the Delilah cruise missile and small-diameter bomb. The Delilah is a small but highly precise munition that can be programmed to loiter while it hunts a specific target, or be manually redirected by a human operator. The Delilah's 160-mile range slightly exceeds Syria's longest-range air defense system, the S-200. The GBU-39 and -53 small-diameter bombs are 285-pound glide bombs with fold-out wings that can strike targets 50 to 60 miles away using GPS or thermal guidance. Israel is tied with the United States for having the most experience combating SAM systems, and those of Syria in particular. During the 1973 Yom Kippur War, Israeli F-4 Phantom and A-4 Skyhawk jets suffered heavy losses to an Egyptian integrated air defense network built along the Suez Canal. Israeli fighters eventually adapted by employing new tactics and electronic warfare systems, while ground forces went on covert raids across the canal to destroy the SAMs from the ground. 9 years later, when Israel engaged Syrian forces in Lebanon, they confronted an integrated Syrian air defense network of 30 SAM batteries in the Bitka Valley. On June 9, Israeli drones lured Syrian radars into revealing their positions, and then Phantom jets, escorted by F-15s and F-16s, launched radar homing missiles at the batteries from long range. In a single day the Israeli jets wiped out all but one SAM battery and over 80 defending Syrians without suffering a single loss. Israel had mastered the art of siege. In the current conflict, Israeli jets have also likely benefited from the cluttered airspace over Syria, over which numerous US, Russian and Turkish jets are flying, which Syrian air defenses must take pains not to shoot at. The vast majority of Syrian SAMs are outdated, static S-75, NATO codename SA-2, and S-125, SA-3, SAM batteries, both with a range of a few dozen miles. The S-75 is most well known for its role shooting down U-2 spy planes and American jets over Vietnam, while the S-125 can be credited with downing an F-117 stealth fighter in 1999, mostly due to the cunning of a Serbian officer rather than any unique capabilities. Syria also possess mobile medium-range Cub, SA-6, and Buk, SA-11 and SA-17, missile systems, as well as Strela, SA-9 and SA-13, and 9K-33 OSA, SA-8, short-range systems. Syrian SA-8s have shot down numerous warplanes, when operated by anti-government rebels, that is. The platform that appears to have caused Israeli jets the most trouble are Syria's S-200 Vega S, NATO codename SA-5B Gammon, 48 of which were acquired from the Soviet Union in the early 1980s. The Vega E can launch a huge, 10-meter-long V-880 radar-guided missiles. No less than 4 booster rockets propel the nearly 8-ton missiles to a maximum speed of 8 times the speed of sound to strike a target up to 150 miles away. Unlike earlier predecessors, the S-200 can guide up to 5 missiles at a time towards a target, though they are not designed to engage low-flying aircraft. After Russia intervened in Syria, Moscow assisted the Syrian military in bringing the aging weapons back into operational condition. In September 2016 and March 2017, S-200s unsuccessfully sniped at Israeli jets attacking targets in Syria. In the latter incident, several S-200s missiles targeting Israeli fighters sailed into Israeli and Jordanian airspace, and Israel shot one down with an aero surface-to-air missile to prevent it from landing in a populated area. Again in September 2017 an S-200 engaged an Israeli jet, but missed yet again. This time Israeli fighters retaliated by blowing up the S-200's fire control radar with 4 bombs. Finally, on February 10, 2018 an S-200 scored a kill in an incident detailed by aviation historian Tom Cooper. At 4 a.m. in the morning, an Iranian troops based at the Taiz T-4 airbase in Syria deployed a Sage stealth drone, reverse-engineered from a captured US RQ-170, into Israeli airspace which was shot down by an IDF AH-64 Apache helicopter gunship. Israel then deployed 8 F-16I fighters which blasted T-4 with cruise missiles and glide bombs. However, Syrian air defenses launched 8 to 10 missiles at the encroaching jets. While most of the Israeli fighters dove low to the earth to evade, an F-16I flying high to perform a bomb damage assessment was damaged by shrapnel from the 478-pound warhead of a V-880. 3 or 4 additional V-880s were launched at the crippled jet, and its crew ejected over Israeli airspace apparently just moments before one of the missiles struck. In retaliation, Israeli jets then blew up 3 Syrian SAM batteries, evading all 14 additional SAMs fired at them. This incident marked the first combat loss of an Israeli fighter in 35 years. The only other jet fighter shot down by Syrian air defenses during the civil war was a Turkish RF-4 Phantom reconnaissance jet downed over international airspace on June 22, 2012 by a Syrian missile of unknown type. Of course, air defense technology has improved since the 1980s, and Damascus continues to seek longer-range S-300 missiles from Russia. However, on every occasion Israel has stridently protested to Moscow against such a transfer. In 2014, Israeli jets twice bombed alleged attempts to supply S-300 in Hezbollah in Syria. However, Syrian SAMs have also been flung at drones, with occasional success. For example, in 2015 an American MQ-1 Predator drone was shot down by an S-125. The manufacturer of the Panzer S-1 has claimed the system has shot down several Israeli, Turkish and American drones. Moreover, on January 2, 2018 Russian Panzers engaged a swarm of 13 kamikaze drones streaking towards the Russian airbase at Hymym, destroying 7. Drones are difficult targets to engage with systems designed to hunt airplanes. The same is true of cruise missiles, but many modern SAM systems claim to be capable of engaging them. However, in April 2017 and April 2018, Syrian air defenses seem to have completely failed to detect and engage a total of over 160 US, British and French cruise missiles. In the first attack, 59 Tomahawk cruise missiles struck Sherat Air Base without eliciting counterfire, apparently damaging or destroying 5 S-200 batteries amongst other targets. However, if you believe the performance art of Syrian and Russian state media, Syrian missiles shot down 76 cruise missiles this April of 2018 using 6 different missile systems. Remarkably, this unprecedented feat in the history of air defense occurred despite radars only detecting the launch of around 4